Great Monday morning. Beautiful start to the day and week to each and every one of you. Kelly Chiasson here, Landed for Success. And it is absolutely my pleasure to be coming to you this morning and kicking off round 2 series interviews with our incredible co-authors. And this morning I have, as I said, I have the privilege to kick everything off with Pamela Geiger. And she's an amazing woman. She's a phenomenal entrepreneur. She is a mother. She is an individual who has really just made a decision to help as many people as she can. And in doing that, be able to really elevate how she's living, how she's impacting her own life and her family's lives. And that's fantastic. And Pamela, I'm going to say it's been a pleasure to get to know you. It is an honor to have you in our book sharing your story. And I'm excited that you're joining me this morning, and everyone will get to have a little bit more in-depth look into who Pamela Geiger is, why you're sharing your story, and what it is you do. So I have to tell you, I'm a baseball hat person, and I really like, I'm always in baseball hats. And I was like, I'll leave it off today. But I have it right next to me because Pamela, for those of you, I'll make sure her links and things are in the post and in the comments so that you can absolutely get in touch with her and connect with her and see what kind of synergies are there to create something that is not there before. But on her Facebook page, she has that she likes, she loves what she does. She does what she loves, and she loves what she does. And I am a huge Life is Good fanatic. This is like my go-to hat. And on the inside, it says, do what you love what, this is gross. I shouldn't show you the inside of my hat. But I have this in mugs. I have it but this is my favorite hat, and my entire family, this is it. So I just lit up knowing that this is what she has on. I remembered it. And I had to go back to your Facebook post, Pamela, because I was like, I think it's like my hat, but I'm like, I kind of look. So knowing that we were coming on today, I looked, I was like, yes, it is. So I'm going to kick it over to you. So you do what you love and you love what you do. Let everybody know who you are. Why does that matter specifically?
That matters so specifically because I've built my family's lifestyle and our lives all around doing what you love and loving what you do, and making your dreams come true, being a doer versus a dreamer. So it's great to dream, but it's better to do. Dreams don't come to fruition without hard work, and they don't come to fruition if you don't put in the steps that are necessary to accomplish what you're trying to get to. So if your dream is to travel, for instance, you need money to travel. We can't travel right now. But when all of this is over, if you want to travel, you need money to travel. You need a passport. There's different various things that you need. And if you don't start doing the little steps that you need to do to accomplish the bigger steps to make your dreams come true, you're never going to make those dreams come true. They're always just going to be dreams, not realities. So I'm a firm believer in that. And what I have built myself up to doing is actually helping a number of other people to make their dreams come true, to help their families to become financially free, to find solutions around their home, to have fun when we're at events. I like to call myself a fun facilitator versus any sort of a sales person. I like to have fun. And so I like to teach people how to make money by having fun as well. And it just changes lives. It's a lifestyle that you live versus working your everyday 9 to 5 grind. It gives you a little bit more flexibility to have some time freedom. So the kids are on a field trip one day and you want to go. Well, guess what? I don't have anybody that I am reporting to that I need to tell them, hey, I need this time off because I want to go on a field trip. I know it's not work related, but I'd like to go, and then maybe not getting paid. No, rather instead, I can schedule my business hours around what I need. And honestly, I'm working off of this little bad boy. So I'm on the field trip, and if I get a phone call, I don't have to shut everything down. I do have the opportunity to take the call, deal with whatever the sitch might be at that point in time, and then get off the phone and put it away and be able to spend time with my kids again. So that is basically what I do in a nutshell. And that is what I'm more than happy to share with anyone who's interested in trying to figure out how to become self-sustainable and have financial and time freedom.
You know what? That's for those of you watching, I just posted her link in the comments. It's also in the post as well. So you can definitely plug into her and connect with her. That's I love that you made that distinction, that it's fantastic to dream, but it's the doing that is going to bring that into a reality. And you can keep dreaming, or you can start doing and then living that out. And mostly it's fantastic too, because you're like, hey, it is true. You don't have to ask for time off to participate and be active and present in your kids' lives. And when you get to create that schedule and it doesn't affect your income, that's a very, very powerful ticket of freedom.
How about when being social impacts your paycheck or your financial status by increasing it? That was the game changer for me. When all of a sudden doing all of the things that I loved actually increased my paycheck. They are directly related to the point that the harder I work, which is socializing, the
Fun,
more I get.
Facilitating fun.
Facilitating fun. I'm a fun facilitator. What can I say? I've said that for years, and I've had a lot of women laugh at me. But that is the difference between some coming into your home to give you a hand and others coming into your home to give you a hand. I like to have fun. I'm not coming in to sell you products, and I'm not coming in to change your life in an instant. I'm not coming in to take all your money, for instance. I'm coming to have fun. Genuinely, I like to socialize and I like to have fun. And if that impacts people's lives in a positive way, then that impacts my life in a positive way. And that's the way I like to look at it. What I do generally fills my heart so much I can't even explain. Like when I leave after a meeting with it might be 2 people, it might be 5 people, it could be 10 people, not so much anymore, but in the past, my heart is so full. I'm on cloud 9 and I ride that wave of happiness and endorphins for days. That it just carries me on and it keeps me motivated. So if you're a social type of person, you and I need to connect because
you also get to choose who you do business with.
100%.
So my guess is the incredible community of business entrepreneurs that you've built, I would imagine, has a lot of energy. You guys are having a lot of fun and impacting lives while you're doing it.
Yes.
Where do stories come into play in your life and in your business?
What do you mean?
Well, you made a decision to share your story here with Landed for Success.
Okay.
Stories impact lives. I mean, you and I both have kids, so we grew up having, with stories. We share stories with our kids. But for you, what is the power of a story for you? Why was it important for you to want to share your story so that people you will never know will be reading it?
Oh, so this one here is I would not be where I am today if I had not heard the stories of other women being successful in what they do, in what we do. I would not be where I am today if I had not heard those stories, and not just one or two, but multiple. Anytime I went to a training event or I went to a business conference, you got to hear somebody's story. And all of these different individuals were finding success in doing basic steps, in breaking down their dreams into achievable, smaller goals. And then they were making their dreams come true. And if I don't tell my story, I know for myself, in the number of women's lives that I've impacted, and I say that because it's majority of women on my team, but that doesn't mean to say that there's not space for anyone. But in the majority of the women who have been on my team, the ones that see success are the ones who have interacted with me on a personal level and have heard my story. And they know where I've come from, and they understand the obstacles that I've had to overcome to get where I am today. And they understand that if I can do it, so can they, because it's achievable, and I can help it become achievable for them by breaking it down to make it more achievable for them. So it might seem like it's a distant reality, but unless we tell our story, people don't understand all of the mud that you trudged through to get where you are. So I do
they
think
just see you at the top and forget that there's a whole lot of substance in the middle.
I went through a divorce. I built my business while I dealt with going through a divorce and being a single parent, having a house to take care of. And I think that is empowering for people to hear, because I know when I landed in the shoes I was in and it felt like my life had fallen apart, I wasn't sure which way was up or down, and it could have gone either way for me. But the fact that I had a business on the side to concentrate on gave me a drive, and my why was my children, and it was providing a lifestyle for them that I did not want them to miss out on because of a situation that was out of their control. Why should a situation out of their control affect their lives and impact them so hard when I have the ability to change that for them? So I do think stories are important, and I think that sometimes in reading people's stories and hearing people's stories, it makes you resonate with where you are in life and what you want. And sometimes hearing what a multitude of different people's whys are. So what their reason for being in business for themselves is, and what their reason is for working hard, sometimes helps you think about what your why might be. And it's really empowering. And goal setting is really empowering. And people don't understand it until they've heard some stories or read some stories, and they start to walk the steps to take them to.
They can see themselves, they can envision themselves in the other person's shoes. I love that you shared it could have gone either way, but you knew you could make a decision. You could play a role in that and make some decisions that could direct which way things were going to go. You had a belief in yourself, and that is, I think, different women and men that I've spent time with over the years, same with yourself, I'm sure. It's not always easy to see that. And it's not always easy that you automatically have that self-belief. But when you're listening to other people, when you hear other people, when you read other people's stories, then it gives you hope, and you start to see yourself being able to, I can do this too. And that is very, very empowering. That's amazing. And what an example for your daughters. A phenomenal example for your daughters. A rock star mompreneur. And that's fantastic. What do they think of do they love your business?
They love my business. In fact, they're probably my biggest cheerleaders, and they have been from day one. If you go back on my Facebook, we would be going back like 4 or 5 years now, but if you were to go back, like, they're the kids that were unboxing products, and they were doing showcases for me on Facebook, and like, they love this, so they needed to show it off, and they went to school and they had my brochures and catalogs with them. And They would bring orders home and they would date parties for me, and they would like, they are my biggest cheerleaders, 100%. When I ask my oldest what she would like to be, she says she wants to be exactly like me. Like when she's older, she wants to be just like mommy. And that's really fulfilling. They've watched me work very hard to be able to be home with them all the time. And it did take me, they were young, so it did take me a little bit to make them understand that most kids have to go to daycare before and after school. And most kids' parents aren't at their field trips whenever they go on a field trip. And most kids' parents don't get to go into the classroom and volunteer once a week if they want to. That I had worked hard, and all the time I spend on my phone, because that's too, like, I'm sometimes like, okay, it needs to get put down, and I physically, or I let it die. I'm that person, sometimes it dies and I am not running for charger. That's literally like, okay, it's time, put it down. And this is time for me to spend with my family. So that they've, why are you always working? Well, sweeties, that trip to Disney didn't come for free. It came from me working. And the car that we drove around, all branded, it didn't come for free. That came from hard work. So I've taught them that you have to work hard to get things. And I'm still teaching them that. And they're learning that hard work does pay off if you want it to. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to choose success in order to be successful. So they are learning that, and I have been able to give them that. It also has saved me a lot of money in the long run. Let's be real. I've not had to pay for a daycare provider. I've not had to pay for someone else to raise my kids for me. I am the person. I know when they get off the bus, it's me that's here, and then I don't feel guilty when it's date night. I want to go out. Let's be
because you have the freedom of being very, very present with them. And that's a gift that keeps on giving. That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's taught my kids, I think, to be a little bit more less stuck inside their comfort zone, because I very strongly believe in stepping outside of your comfort zone, and growth lives on the edge of your comfort zone. So when the kids show anxieties, for instance, towards school or changes, we just moved, we just sold our first home, and the only home the kids knew, and moved to a different town, and they started at a new school in the middle of a pandemic. Like, everybody's wearing masks and they're going to school, and I mean, that was weird enough. There was anxiety surrounding that, and it's a lot easier for me to get to their level and say, you know what, mommy hasn't gotten where she is in life, and mommy wasn't able to, we weren't able to buy this house with mommy being scared. Mommy had to push through. So you just be strong and go to school, and good things will happen. And I mean, I'm leading by example, so it's really nice to be able to teach by example, and put some of the anxieties at bay. I deal with anxiety myself, and I've had my own spout of mental health, ups and downs, and it's nice to be able to help my children while I grow, to also be able to cope and deal and grow. So that for me also is a big deal.
Well, it serves as a really, I think there's always powerful tools and resources. When I was younger, different story, different day, because we're here highlighting you. But I worked for a number of years when I was younger, how to master making my environment work for me. And due to that, it has significantly allowed me to lend serious support to all of my kids, just in everyday stuff, which is the skills that I have mastered. I continue to do them. But when they, express the same thing, or there's something great, they have a mom that has personally experienced this. This is why, there's an explanation, there's reasoning, there's understanding, and they see me doing it. And they see how they can, okay, well, you did that. And I was in my early 20s when I was diagnosed with a disorder. And it's like, well, yeah, it's not it's not an excuse. I now know. So it's just a matter of what do I have in place to make it be an advantage for myself. And that's it. And you're right. You're spot on with, you just keep going through, and especially when you've got personal experience that they can see.
100%. I also was diagnosed with a disability of sorts in my mid-20s, and it's something that I dealt with from the time I was 13 on. Like, I noticed when I was a kid, I was getting laid up, and like doctors were putting me on muscle relaxers, all kinds of stuff for like back problems. And it turned out that I had fibromyalgia. And when I had seen my rheumatologist after 10 years of struggling with fibromyalgia and not realizing it, he had said he would have diagnosed me as a child with juvenile fibromyalgia. I had every trigger point. And like I said, I wanted to provide a life for my kids that wouldn't have otherwise been possible, because I could not physically work. I can't physically work a full-time job because of my fibromyalgia. But then becoming adaptable and figuring out what works for me and what works for our family and what's providing is, I think, a valuable tool for the kids to see. I'm not letting it stop me, and I'm not letting it change my life. I'm adapting so that I can live life to its fullest.
So adopting the life is good. And when you do what you love and you love what you do, everything else falls in line. And I believe this. I swear by this. And I really, really, really do love that is that's your mode for life, Pamela. That's amazing.
So my oldest's initials are LG, like life is good. Yes.
That's awesome.
I know, right?
That is awesome. What is your hope for your story, for individuals? We're Landed for Success, Untold Stories is coming soon. What is your hope for people who are going to read your chapter, Pamela?
I really would love to just empower as many people as possible. The more people that I can help, empower, and change their lives, the better. And so the more people that are able to read the stories and see that they can have success despite all of the obstacles that come up in life, that would be what makes me happy, is if people are able to take that and be inspired and reach out if they need to and say, hey, tell me how you did it. What was it like in your bump and grind that made this happen? Reach out and ask, and I will tell. I'm an open book, and I want to help as many people as possible. So the more people I can empower to just keep powering through and to accomplish smaller goals that make their dreams attainable, I want to.
Well, you're doing it, and I'm proud of what you're doing. Just from, I think I'm always feel proud when I meet individuals that have just really taken their lives and their dreams into their hands and are just building amazing with it. And I'm just very, very excited for you. I know that your story is going to touch a lot of people's hearts. There are people that will never know that are waiting for your story. And whether it's just reading it and sitting with that comfort of there is someone else that they can relate to, they can see themselves, if it's so, and that's enough for them. And the individuals that are going to be like, okay, I'm going to get out. I got to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I love it. So happy to have you as a co-author in our first collaborative project, Untold Stories. To those of you, Pamela Geiger, she is on Facebook. Please find her, connect with her, plug into what she's doing. Look at her amazing business, because I know she does business like Tupperware. Oh my God, I could spend like a fortune. I still have Tupperware from way back, like Kansas. Like everyone's gonna know when I lived in Kansas. Sorry, you don't. But this is like well over 10 years ago. And I like, the stuff doesn't like die. It holds. Like, I love it. This is fantastic. But definitely her link is in the post. Her link is in the comments. If that is a challenge, if it's not, and you're like, I'd like a personal introduction, seriously, message me. I will absolutely make that happen. Message her directly. We love her. Like, you can't, if you're coming in at the end, go back and rewind. Like, you just want to spend time with her and get to know her, and like, just, I don't know, figure out how to do business in some way, shape, or form with this woman. But she is impacting lives. You are a phenomenal woman, Pamela. Congratulations on all the success that you've had to date. I love that you are loving what you do and you are doing what you love. And cheers to you across the miles. Stay safe and be well. And if you want to drop anything to everybody watching before we exit, before I move us off of here, go ahead. Let everybody know if you've got a few last words you'd like to say.
I don't have much to say. Thank you so much for the opportunity, though. And thank you to Landed for Success for the opportunity to be able to do this. If you do want to get in touch, add me as a friend on Facebook. I am open to accepting invites. My profile is actually public, so it shouldn't be hard to find me. But I have a multitude of different avenues of business on the go, and I would love to help you find success in life and to do what you love.
Amazing. To all of you, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to catch us on the replay. For those of you that do, the appreciation goes out to each and every one of you as well. Have an amazing rest of your Monday and start to your week. Pamela, thank you so much.